Welcome to Holistic Human Performance Podcast. My name is Gena Bradshaw, where we talk all things holistic health, wellness, spirituality, fitness, meditation, energetics, and so much more to help you become the healthiest version of yourself. Let's dive in. This is not medical advice. This is simply to help you on your journey through health, fitness, and wellness. I hope this helps. You can complement this with anything that you are doing currently in your life. Enjoy. Have you ever felt absolutely hopeless when it comes to your health, body pain, chronic disease, mental and emotional distress, and your stress management? Yeah, I've been there too. And after years of my own health and healing journey, learning all of these different holistic healing modalities and tools, I've finally come to a point in life where I have absolutely never felt better. And I want to teach you those tools. And that's why I've created the Magnetic Mobility Meditation Program, designed specifically to tap into your body, listen to the inner wisdom it's trying to share with you, and really connect your mind, body, and soul so that you can be the healthiest, happiest version of yourself and be able to thrive in your life and truly learn about your own energy, what you need, what your non-negotiables are, as I combine this body-based practice to help you reclaim your health and thrive in your life. And did I mention that you get a 5-day free trial to the Holistic Human Performance Wellness Center, where you can access all these different programs, on-demand videos, meditations, breath work, movement, exercise, nutrition coaching, all to help you biohack your life, enhance your health and well-being, and to help you have these tools that you can put in your toolbox and you can utilize them whenever, wherever you need. Go get your 5-day free trial at www.holistichumanperformance.co/academy. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Holistic Human Performance Podcast. My name is Gena Bradshaw, and today we have a very special guest with us. We have Patricia Raffe. She is a lifestyle paramedic, which we are going to get into what that actually means. And her story is extremely profound, and I cannot wait to hear about this overcoming of trauma that she's had in her life. And I think it'll be extremely helpful for those who are going through traumatic situations, events, and they feel like it's absolutely hopeless. So without further ado, Patricia, welcome.
Hello, Gena. So good to be here.
I know it. I'm so excited. You're so eccentric. I love your energy.
Eccentric. Okay, I'll take it. That makes it kind of unique.
Yes. Okay. So what your story is very interesting. I was reading up a little bit on you. You've lived a pretty cool life.
Thank you.
I think you were in the jewelry business, right? You had your own line?
I did. I'd gone on a backroads biking trip,
Uh-huh.
and before I got there, we stopped off in Paris, and there was a little store, a little boutique. I liked the bracelets and went in, talked to the owner. I'm like, I think I want to sell your bracelets, and there became an armful of charm, Patricia Raffe from, I was selling beautiful bracelets from Florence, Italy.
That's cool.
That seems like a lifetime ago.
I know, and it's clearly gotten you, it's like a breadcrumb that led you down this road, which is pretty cool. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do currently, and then we'll kind of like backtrack about how you got here.
Okay, so what I do is, okay, so the business is called Stop Living the Lie. So
Mm-hmm.
what I do is I try to help people heal themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Let them understand that there is such an innate, brilliant, intelligent voice inside of us that has all the answers we need. It's not coming from the outside. It's not coming from the chat. It's not coming from the friends, the parents, or social media. It is within you. And a lot of people don't realize that. So that is basically, tied up in a little bow, what I do, help others find the best version of themselves, like you do, Gena.
Hmm.
This has become a purpose of our lives. And how to become a purpose of our lives? I'll speak for myself. I kind of lived in hell for a
Yeah.
little while. And when you're looking into the abyss, it's not fun. So
Mm.
you have an option. You either continue being in the abyss or you find your way out. And that's what I did. And I vowed that my purpose in life would be helping others to have faith in themselves and understand that it might take work, but it's worth it.
Absolutely. Okay, so now let's backtrack. You
Okay.
were given 20 days to live.
Okay. So you want to hear? I'm
Let
thinking.
you need to tell us the story. Like, what even brought you to what you do today?
Okay. So I was living what I thought was this incredible, charmed life. I was an executive of an oil corporation. I had a social life. And by the way, I was physically fit. You would think that if there was one person who would never get sick, oh, it's going to be Patricia Raffe, the walking poster child of health and well-being, right? And so one day I wasn't feeling so well. I went to a doctor for a checkup. And by the way, let me just say that doctors are incredible, but there will be doctors out there that might tell you that it's all in your head.
Yeah.
And what you're feeling is not really there. And
Yeah.
and okay, so I'm so thrilled that you understand that as well. And I want people out there, and I know you want your people out there to understand that when you know something's wrong, it's wrong. Don't let anyone sway you to think that it's not. Okay, but that's off from the
Off
story.
the shoot.
Uh,
No, but
you-
I want to pause you right there
Right.
because I had a similar situation. When I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer at age 20, I went to two different doctors. And again, like you don't know what you don't know, but the first doctor that I went to see, and I always share this story because it's like a profound moment in my life where I could have gone one way or the other. And he was like, well, we don't know what it is, could be benign, we're not sure. And we're just going to take out my protocol. We're going to take out the whole thyroid. You're going to go on medication. You're going to do radioactive iodine. And no joke, my entire body like tensed up and cringed. And it was like, nope, that's not an option for me. And so I actually like verbalized that to him and I was like, that's not going to work for me actually. So he was baffled that I said no. And then I went for a second opinion and that doctor, absolute game changer, changed the trajectory of everything. And, I didn't have to take medication. I'm not on medication, all the above, no treatment. So, that's a really important part that you just took note of because I hear it all the time. People are like, my doctor is telling me nothing's going on. It's all in my head. And multiple doctors, not just one, multiple they'll see. And, it's unfortunate, but you have to take it into your own hands.
This is true. And talk about profound stories. Come on, Gena. I mean, come on, girl. Yours is,
We're not comparing here. You had
okay. But I'm just saying kudos to you.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank
So,
you.
no, we're all happy that you're alive, well, and here we are getting to talk to you, see you, and feel your love.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah, I went to a number of doctors, and they said, nope, no, no. Oh, and by the way, basically, you should stop eating sugar, go off vitamin E, and don't have caffeine, and maybe you'll feel better. Okay, fast forward, there was one doctor that said, you need to go for an MRI. I did. And I was sent back to his office. I'll never forget this. And he showed me an X-ray of my brain, and he put it up there, and he says, "You see that?" And I'm like, "Looks like a really healthy brain to me." And he goes, "No, darling, that's a tumor. Thank God it wasn't in my brain. Thank God, but it was skull based, and it was growing. Who knows how it even developed." And
Right.
he said, you have, I don't really know why you're still alive. Uh, you have probably within 20 days. And I don't know if, I don't even know if there's that many surgeons that even have an idea of what this tumor is, or if they had surgery on it, but okay. So moving
Whoa.
forward, they said, okay, so more likely you will die. And if you survive, you'll be blind, deaf, and stroking out. Well, okay, that's not really an option either, but I really didn't have a choice because I really had the symptoms. So,
Question. What kind of symptoms did you have?
okay, I had, but don't forget, anything can happen to anybody, right?
Of
Okay, so
course.
for me, I woke up one morning out of nowhere with blurry vision, or I was lying in bed and I was looking at the wall, and things were kind of like I was seeing double, I was seeing kind of triple, it became quadruple. But then I said to myself, well, I did go out last night and I had a martini, and maybe that martini, because I didn't want to think that there was something
Yeah.
really wrong, maybe the martini kind of gave me a little woozy, but it wasn't. And then the eyesight was just, and then it would kind of come and go, whatever, but it didn't matter because he said within 20 days, he goes, you have to find a surgeon. I found a surgeon, found surgeons,
Yeah.
and they said, you probably won't make it. And I knew, and this is where I want everyone to know, and this is probably where you understand, because this is where your will and determination, there is this innateness within us. I said, I am so not going to die. I have no idea who Patricia Raffe is. Have you met me? Like, it's not going to happen. Okay. Okay. And so it was a horrible years of going through the surgeries and healing myself, but also getting lucky enough to find people to help heal me as well. It
Mm,
wasn't, I could tell you right now, it wasn't Western,
mm-hmm.
it was Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
Strange kind of healers, like body talkers. Probably most people never heard of a body talker. Really, I went out of the box. And so, okay, that
Were Sorry to
go.
cut you off, but were you familiar with like Eastern medicine prior to you going through this?
Okay, I had, again, it's all this innate stuff. Clearly, I don't know what it is, because my family, I never grew up with this kind of way of thinking throughout my life, but I always went to acupuncture as I got older, and I always felt better from the acupuncture. I never wanted to take medication. I was always so active and healthy. I
Yeah.
Nothing ever happened to me throughout my life. I broke my
Yeah.
arm at 13.
Yeah.
That was the worst of my sickness. So again, I know I keep saying again about the innate intuitiveness. I just
It's a
can't,
real thing.
it's a real thing, and most people don't even understand. Not only is it real, it's probably the best friend you'll ever have in your entire life. And I mean that, people. That is not, I'm talking about, you might have a best friend from second grade. This best friend will never be as best a friend as what you have within you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's okay. So I was healing.
Backtrack. Yep. You were going through the healing. So bring us through. Okay, so you find a surgeon? You went through surgeries.
Okay. Yes, I went through a couple of surgeries. Again, thank God okay, so I came out of it, but I didn't come out with it well.
Yeah.
I mean, it was scary. It took me years to be able to close an eye. And now it's funny, Jenna, because you're actually the first person that I'm sharing the details with, because not only do I not have those details on my website, I don't share them with anyone. I'm going to tell you why, and I'll probably get teary-eyed about this. For years, I didn't tell people about what I went through. I would maybe say, yeah, something, but not really. And I just never wanted anyone to look at me. I hope I don't
Different.
cry.
Differently.
More than that. as a victim.
Mm,
Don't look at me. I'm such a strong, like you, a strong person. I have my way of thinking and feeling, and I was always the happy one in the group, always with the smile and the good mood, and this, and that. And regardless of what I went through and how I looked after the surgery, which was scary in itself. And even though they didn't do any kind of facial work, but it was the workings of the muscles that I had to get back.
yeah.
Uh, I didn't share that with anybody. You are the first, I have to tell you, that I just didn't, and I still don't, anyone to look at me and say, oh, look what she's been through, No, no, no. I am who I am today. Look at who I am today. And quite frankly, this is really who I always was, except that I'm living with the remnants of what I have to live with.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's okay to verbalize what you went through, and I am honored that I am the first that you're sharing this with.
Yeah.
And for a time I did feel like that with myself as well, and kind of what I went through, I just like stuffed it down. Not to say that you're stuffing it down, but I didn't want people to look at me kind of like in this different light or feel bad for me or anything like
Right.
that. But to
Right.
be honest, I'm going to tell you right now, your story is profound and other people need to hear this because there are other people out there that have gone through traumatic situations just like you have. And it almost gives them a sense of hope and inspiration. Like, I can't even tell you the messages, the emails with people that I have come on and they share their stories and they do go into a little bit of the detail and they share um their hell that they were living. You went through hell and back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
So
commend you for sharing. Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you. But further, where did stop living the lie come from?
Yeah.
Well, while I was lying in bed, I had nothing else that I could do while I was going through the healing process. I'm like, who am I? Like it was talk about an awakening and
Yeah.
a transformation. Uh, it was time for me to say, Patricia, and really, I talk to myself like this, like, were you really having a good time? Was that social life so great? And by the way, you were so stressed out at that corporate job, it nearly killed you, okay? Because um, in many ways, Gena, I believe that the stress that I was going through in my body helped create the tumor.
I
Now,
believe that too.
thank you. But I don't want people out there to think, oh my God, I'm making myself sick. But
No,
wait, but there is a little bit of a wake-up call. Everyone
there
should
is.
know there is a part of us that does create the dis-ease.
Yep.
That dis-ease is the how uncomfortable we are and how stressful we get and what it does to our cortisol and this and that. And we're not going to go into that whole biological effect of our bodies. That's for another chit chat. But so I was lying there, I'm like, who am I? Like, your name is Patricia, but you're not really. It was like an Eckhart Tolle moment,
Very cool.
like, well, uh-huh, someone's talking to me. And I never really believed in the whole God thing, but let me tell you something, because I lost a brother at a very young age.
Yeah, yeah.
There is no God. At some point in time. And then I'm like, first of all, like, and it's still a process of realizing who I am, how far I've come, and it is, and I'm not religious, but I'll tell you, I am spiritual. And I am there is something way bigger than me that has helped me get to where I am today. And it's not family, it's not friends. It is that high, call it what you want,
Yep.
people. It's a
Yep.
higher power or that source, or I'm gonna call it God. Whatever that is, it is something bigger than me. So while I was lying there, I said to myself, you've been living lies and you gotta stop. And therein lies, stop living the lies, because we're all, I hate to break it to you, we're all living the lies. What are the
Hmm.
lies? Okay, so give me some lies, Gena, that you think you've been living or had
Well,
now.
yeah. So the first thing that pops into my mind is like the illusions that are going on in life. Like that is like the lie, and kind of like you're the main character in your own story, and everyone else are like actors. And it kind of reminds me of the Truman Show. Where he's like living in a bubble in like this fake world. And yeah, so like one of them was that identity that I had as like um cancer survivor, right? I'm not just that. Like that's not who I am. That's not my identity. That helped me get to where I'm at today, but that is not me. So that would be something that I would consider living
That
the lie.
That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah,
But how many people out there are identifying themselves with the labels, including us? I don't know about you, because I read your book, and let me say that it sounds to me as though you came from such a loving family.
oh, thank
And
you.
so
Yes.
I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've been thinking about it for a couple of days. And what was okay, so what I read was that you actually, as much as you were going through your hell as a child, and you were feeling sick, those times that you couldn't get out of bed and you were feeling the ache and the pain in your bones and all of this, but you were a child and you had so much love from your family that, correct me if I'm wrong, you didn't really even understand that you were sick, but you knew you didn't feel well. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I couldn't even tell you, like going to school, like after that, like I knew I was different, but I didn't even like realize what I went through. And to be honest with you, I didn't go to talk therapy. Like in my family, the Italian family, they're like, talk therapy, boo. And they don't, you know, so it wasn't something that I truly like, I guess, acknowledged. And children are resilient, but the body always keeps the score. And
Mm,
you don't know what you don't know. And the things that I know now about Eastern medicine, energy medicine, I'm like, damn, that would have been helpful back then.
okay, okay. And then we get upset about how, listen, there's so many things that
So
I
many
say
things.
that I wish I
But
did
that's
this
not how
instead.
it went down. And
Okay,
that's it.
exactly. But so here's my big question for you. What, so how do you think you would have done? I know you can't even, okay, as an adult,
Yeah.
because you can't answer it as a child. As an adult, how important do you think having that support and love is for healing?
Oh, profound.
Right.
Profound. I mean, so I'm the oldest of five, like having my siblings, being able to still be a kid, to be playful, having my parents now, mind you, the divorce rate when, let's just say you have a child who is going through cancer is 90%. My
Wow.
parents are still together 33 years later.
Wow.
So the fact that, they had that bond, and like they would obviously I'm their child. Even though I'm their child, they didn't have to do anything about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So, like there were children in the hospital where there was no one. Like there was no one coming in for them. Nope. Because, it was either like a single mom or, a single parent, and they would have to work 24/7 to pay the bills and things like that. I mean, it's a game changer. I mean, we could go into the whole other topic of like coming into soul form and choosing, like you choose your parents. So, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
whole other topic.
let me just say this.
Yeah.
I yeah, I won't say.
Yeah.
I'm better off not saying. Okay, but I'm
No,
just
it's okay.
saying this, that you are so blessed to have had that,
Yeah.
because I mean, tears welled in my eyes when I was reading your story and your mom's introduction, and I felt for her. I felt for you. I mean, yeah.
I know. And you know what's cool too? And because you are like intuitive and into healing, when
Yeah.
I went through, so when I first started to write the book, A Survivor Story, my mom almost did not want me to write the book because obviously it was bringing her back to such a horrendous time in life, literally her own hell, my
Yeah.
parents' own hell and worst nightmare. And like for me, I'm looking at it as a perspective. And now, this when I wrote my book, I was spiritual. I was, I grew up in a Catholic family, and I kind of was the black sheep where I'm like, guys, like I kind of have mediumship abilities. And like, you know, I didn't talk about it too much, but they're coming around now. But my mom originally did not want me to write the book because she was so traumatized. However, I will say this, when you go through your own healing, and I know, you'll agree with this, when you go through your own healing, you can see change in other people around you. And
Oh,
the
yeah.
healing was profound with myself, with my dad, with my mom, with my siblings, like my whole family, my grandparents. I was just noticing. And again, like when you do your own inner healing, you heal 7 generations forward, 7 generations backwards. And so, when you look at it from that perspective, it's like a no brainer.
So let me ask you, what were you seeing in their healing?
So I was seeing them speak about it more because it was kind of like an unspoken thing. Like we didn't like we we're involved in nonprofit organizations and those types of things, but I feel like they were more open and receptive to getting a little bit like deeper when it came to the conversation around it,
Yeah,
when they saw that I was comfortable
right,
speaking
right.
about it.
Right. I think, and also, your mom from the thoughts that I got in what she was saying was she was also concerned about you being affected in such a sad, a sad, hurting way. She didn't want you to feel that, and then realize that this was such a catharsis for you in some ways.
Absolutely. Spot on, girl. Spot on.
Beautiful, beautiful. Love it.
Yeah. So okay. So talk to us about, kind of, we know where you started, stop living the lie, right? So you're
Yeah.
in your bed and you're like, I'm living the lie.
Oh yeah.
What was that next move for you? What were you doing? What was that next move for you? How did you continue on?
How did I continue on in life?
Yeah. How did you continue on in life, after something so traumatic?
Well, first of all, it's taken years and years, and to today, I still have remnants of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not just talking from an emotional standpoint. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
so for me today, I again, when I was finally getting well, and by the way, I do want to say this. People uh, people don't really know what to say to other people that might look a little strange or might be going through something. It's amazing. I'm going to recommend to everyone, then don't say anything, because a lot of things came out of people's mouths
Yeah.
or that would kind of set me back, because I had a patch on an eye, I had staples in my head. And again, thank God that my brain was never affected. I mean, really, I love my brain. I love how my mind works. So I continue to work on that. And even after the surgery, they couldn't guarantee anything to this day. So it puts things into perspective. Do I forget about that perspective sometimes? I'm only human. And yeah, when I start to take things for granted or take advantage of them, I'm like, girl, take a step back. You're not living in that illusion world like everyone else is. You are someone who's different. You got your feet on the ground and you're grounded. And here's the problem with what's out there. There's so much chatter and noise, and it's almost impossible unless you force yourself to think and feel and be in touch with who you are. And that's a difficult thing to do. So I practice that on a regular basis, but that's hard. That's
Yeah.
hard. But once you get there, I'm sure you would agree. Once you get there, it's like freedom. there are actually moments of bliss when you learn to shut it off. Oh, there's so much that we could talk about. I don't even know. So you got to shut me out. So I don't know
No,
what to say.
no, you're doing
I could go on and on because I just
but the people need to
want
hear this.
to help people out there. There's so much that I have to say to people to understand. A, you're not alone. You're not alone. And by the way, when you think you are alone, you're still not alone. Because guess who you've got? You've got your best friend in here.
Yep,
Take her
absolutely.
for a walk, put on music, and dance with her.
Oh, love that. I need to do that today.
You know, I haven't done it a little bit. I put it on in my living room. And by the way, you can dance in any outfit or no outfit. Okay? I mean, with the mirror or without the mirror or whatever makes you happy. But I guarantee you, if you put on your favorite music and you start moving and you start dancing, you cannot feel bad.
I know it. That's so true. Bring more joy and like playfulness into your life.
That's
It's
it.
key, right? So because I know you're into and you're gifted intuitively.
Do.
So talk.
I just want to say this.
Yes, yes, yes. Go ahead.
All gifted intuitively. See, the thing is this, I'm not, I'm about to say I'm not that special. Yeah, I'm special, but we're all just as special as I am. So what I want to say is gifted, we're all, we all have the intuitiveness inside of us. It's an innate power. It's just a knowing. The gift is learning how to tune into it and to be able to clear your own stuff to help others.
Absolutely. That's spot on. That's exactly right. So, when did you start to kind of like bring that kind of work into your world and, start, holding space for other people? What does that look like?
Okay, I'm sure like you didn't even realize you were doing it
Yeah.
while even young. So I had no idea. I knew that I was able to help others when we would have conversations, just even strangers, and I'd say, and I'd come up with a question or a suggestion, and they're like, huh, that sounds, no one's ever mentioned that to me. And I never questioned where that was coming from. But then I would be having every Tuesday night uh uh sushi with a group of people that I never even knew. They would just be sitting at the bar every Tuesday night, and we all became friendly, and we'd be eating sushi, and we'd all be having these great conversations about life. Really, we were all strangers that became Tuesday friends. And they'd end up particularly talking to me, and then I'd be giving suggestions and asking questions, and like, I've been in therapy for 15 years, and that therapist never even thought to ask me that. They go, oh my God, you're like shifting my life, this, and that. And they said, why don't you make a business out of it? I go, a business out of what? Like, what exactly am I making a business out of? This is who I am. What are you talking about? And they go, well, every time I see you, I put something to use, and it kind of changes my whole lifestyle. And like, you're a healer. And all of a sudden, one night while I was meditating, and people, don't freak out. You don't have to be there, meditating, like oming, just like get quiet. And all
Hmm.
of a sudden, you'll start to hear a voice and questions and this and that. And there came Lifestyle Paramedic.
Yeah, which is a
And
cool name.
thank you. And no one could take it because it's trademarked. Yeah, so lifestyle paramedic. And then I started the business because I started to get in demand. And I'm like, okay, why aren't I got out of the oil business, I got out of corporate because it was making me sick. And the most important part of this story, Gena, is me realizing that if I had a second chance, that I vowed to myself to do to find out what my purpose in life is. Why am I even here? I should have been dead. And today, maybe we could all go like this. I think we all learned that during COVID.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter how old you are. Doesn't matter. It matters It matters how you take care of you. It's not even matter how you take care of yourself. That's important too. But you never know, because I went from being healthy and this and that, and like that, my life was practically over. It was ending. So you never know. So yeah, I know now I lost my train of thought where I was.
No, yeah. So, lifestyle paramedic, talk to us about what you do, how you help people. You got the download, cool ass name. Now, how did you start to like form and bring, your tools and modalities together to what you do today?
Well, I have to thank, through my travel experience, being amongst, I'd have to say, talk about gifted. We're talking healers, like people. And how did I actually end up meeting them? I don't know. The universe kind of brought me to them.
Yep.
And so what? I had to fly to Costa Rica, and then all of a sudden I met this body talker, this and that, and stayed for 3 months, and kind of broke down to break through and learn all these techniques and understand about, most importantly, about myself, and just and maybe reading books or taking courses, and most importantly, the hardest part was you might have to lose a few people along the way. I'm sorry to say to people out there, if someone, I might go a little coarse now, but if there are people in your life that are sucking the life out of you, say bye-bye. And if there are people that are not empowering you in your life and making you feel special, and by the way, not just kissing up to you, but being honest to you, then say bye-bye, because you'll never meet the ones that are meant to be sent to you unless you have the space and the openness to let them in,
Mm,
right? So
absolutely.
I welcomed all that into my life because, quite frankly, Gena, I hit bottom. I saw the abyss, and I knew that there was a reason why I was saved. And so there I vowed that, yeah, I'm meant to help others. But first, I have to help myself to get there. And I wasn't going to start a business until I understood what it took. And I'm still learning. And until the day I die, I will be learning. But I'll be damn sure that along the way, I'm going to share it with others, because there are so many suffering people out there.
Mm, I know it. Yeah, no, that's pretty cool, especially because you surrendered. You s-
Ah, but let me ask you something. Do you feel like, well, you probably have it down, but are there days, less days, or more days, or some days that you still have to surrender?
I have to surrender all the time.
Yeah, yeah, all the time. What is, like, when you say for you that you need to surrender, what are you surrendering to, so people could understand? What does that actually mean?
Yeah, in so obviously, right, when you go through something traumatic, the old you dies off. Like that person cannot come with you into this new chapter of your life.
I love that.
And with that, old operating systems have to go. People need to go. Old ways of living need to go, much like where you do, lifestyle paramedic comes in, right? And for me, it was the operating, and I'm sure you could resonate with this, where working um in corporate environment, it was just work, 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 go, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle. And I just like couldn't do that anymore. I was like, there's another way to live. I'm not doing this anymore. And so sometimes that old part of me will kind of like pop up a little bit and be like, you should be doing this or you should
Ah,
be doing that. And it's like, okay, no, let me just take a minute. And then I'll either like, I've gotten to the point where I can ask myself, like, what do I need when those old operating systems come up? And the answer will kind of just come to me. Which is my goal for like everyone, like get to a point where you can know your energy and body so well that when you ask yourself a question, the answer just pops up.
right.
So yeah, that would be something that like would be surrendering to. Like, no, you're on the right path. Just keep going, but surrender. Like, just allow, let it happen. Don't push, don't force.
Exactly. How this is, you know, it takes work, right? I mean, I, no one should think, okay, well, first of all, no one should think I can't do it.
Right.
I mean, everyone needs to know, again, I'm a stubborn, I'm willful, but I'm also determined. I love challenges, but not that much of a challenge, but and I'm competitive, but if it makes sense, I'm all in. For me, the biggest problem in the world for me personally, is that I don't think you have to be so book smart. I'm not. I don't think you have to be so, guru, whatever that is, expert. I don't know what that is. Uh,
Mhm.
all I know is that if you just trust and understand that you don't have to be anything other than yourself. And I call it SOS, having a sense of self. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing, that they're there faster than you, or you can't get it, or you just don't understand it. There's nothing to really understand. This is just something we want you, and I'm speaking for us, if you don't mind. And
Yeah.
we want you to tap into, just tap into you. And the only way, I will say, the only way, this is homework. This is the hardest part of the whole thing for me, is to get quiet. That's hard. It's hard for me because I have a lot going on up there, and there's a lot of feelings involved, and I'm very sensitive. And there are a lot of people out there that feel the exact same way. But I promise, you don't have to sit oming. You don't have to be uncomfortable. Just lie there. Shut the radio off. Shut everything down. Do it before you go to bed. Do it before you get up. That's what I do when the brain is not so cray cray. And just start breathing, count your breaths, and get quiet. Just get quiet. I promise, I would say money back guarantee. I promise that if we all did that, we would understand and start to hear that higher power that's trying, that higher power is your soul, the one, the only entity that loves you the most, loves you more than you love you. But you are the soul, so I don't want to mess anyone up. You are you, but we're too messy up here. It's too
Yeah.
chaotic up here. But this, wherever the soul is the soul, loves us unconditionally, not pushing us, and it's certainly not shooting on us. I try not to even use the word should,
I
because
know, same.
when I say the word should, I'm like, oh God, hot flashes. I'm like getting anxious because I start to profusely sweat thinking I made a mistake.
Yeah. Second guessing yourself, not trusting your intuition. Absolutely. So, as we wrap up, and you had lots of words of wisdom, but
Thank you.
as we wrap up, what are some words of wisdom you would like to leave the listeners?
Okay. Okay. I would say, okay, I'll just say two things if that's possible.
Yeah.
Stop waiting for miracles. Make them.
Mm,
There is nothing that you can't have. You have the potential. You can have the relationship that you want. Maybe you can't have Brad Pitt. I'm sorry. There are plenty other people out there that you could have. What I'm saying is that who's to even say that you'd even like him if it all came down to it, okay? But that's a different story. Sorry, Brad. Or whoever. What I'm trying to say is you could find love, You could be a success. You could be happy. You could have fun. Just, you could get re-energized. There's so many things that I want everyone to know that they have the potential of doing. Just slow down, calm down. Don't worry about anything that you have no control over. And by the way, we have no control over anything except for what comes out of our mouths and what we do for ourselves. So believe it or not, there was a super run-on sentence with about 12 different things in it. And the last thing that I would say, Gena, is if not now, when? What are you waiting for? Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm motivated. Thank you.
You didn't need motivation. You are motivation.
I appreciate you. Thank you so, so much for coming on, Patricia. It was such a pleasure chatting with you.
Well, if anyone wants to reach out and talk or to chat,
Yes, where can people find you?
okay, just reach out to my website on the contact page. I'll get back to you at www.stoplivingthelie.com, or I'm such a beginner. I just started Instagram. Oh my God. I think you're supposed to say at Stop
Yes.
Living the Lie. And come visit me. Come talk. We'll chat. Let's we're all in it together. So
Yes.
Gena, you are
Absolutely.
precious, you are special, you are a guiding light to all of us. And wow, thank you. Thank
Oh,
you.
wow. Thank you so much. I'm like blushing over here.
No,
I appreciate you.
thank you.
All right, guys. I'll put all of our information in the show notes. And if you like this episode, like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye, guys.